Dr. Dave McBrewer is the Director of Veterinary Services. The infamous Dr. Dave, you see him on webcam. Dr. Dave is the Director of Veterinary Services at the Wildlife Center of Virginia. And in his capacity as Director of Veterinary Services, he's in charge of all of the medical work that is done at our state-of-the-art hospital. Now, most of you know about the Wildlife Center, but essentially we are a teaching and research hospital for wildlife medicine. We train students from every vet school in the United States and Canada and from 42 other countries that come to our facility in Waynesboro, Virginia to learn to apply the generalized skills of veterinary medicine to the very, very specialized world of wildlife medicine. Okay. I got my order. Keep talking, just let him know, so I'll do that. This particular bird has only been with us about 10 days. It came in from King and Queen County, again, young of the year. Now, most of you know, you all are true eagle experts in your own right, but most of you know that bald eagles do not get their white head and white tail until they are at least 4.5 years old. These birds, of course, being only 4 months old, have the dark coloration. When they sit in the trees, they are very well camouflaged. They are very much able to avoid confrontation and territorial fights, and they are very much able to hide until they're able to take territory, which is what that white head and white tail feather is all about. Being seen and letting other birds know that they are present. If you go up and down this stretch of the river here in a boat, you can spot those white heads a mile away if you know what you're looking for. So we're going to give this one a chance to get a little bit used to it. Are you ready, Dave? Oh, one last act of defiance. The bird is just kissing Dave. People think we wear these heavy gloves for the drama and the effect. Let me assure you that we all have scars to show the times when we didn't pick them up. All right. You ready to go? All right. Cameras up. Bird number 2 on the count of 1, 2, 3.
Here we go. Oh.
And another exit route is taken. And away we go. Thanks, Dave. So the hard part has been getting it ready to go. Now, those of you who have watched Eagle Cam, those of you who have come along with these birds have also expressed the most gratifying amount of support, friendship, affection for those of us who have been intimately involved. And you've all come to recognize this move. Grabbing the eagle out of the air. We call that move the Miranda, as opposed to the Macarena or something. But one of the key members of our staff, our veterinary fellow here with us for 2 years, studying the advanced skills of wildlife medicine, Dr. Miranda Kadar. And she is the person who has really done the day-to-day clinical work on the rock stars. Which one you got? Oh. And few then forget the exploits of NZ. And that is the bird Miranda's not ready to return to the wild. All right, I'm going to ask you to move up a little bit because the breeze is picking up.
Yeah, they're about to do one.
Give it a little chance for a little altitude, and we'll, when the breeze drops, we've got 2 more to go. So those of you with cameras, don't panic. All right. That's yeah. Toss it that way anyway, but it'll probably come this way if the breeze picks back up. NZ. A large, personality-intense female. Well, there have been some other phrases that have been used to characterize her personality. There's a mixed crowd today, and we'll let that go. But the fact is that this is the largest of the 3 birds. when she was in captivity, shortly after they began to leave the nest and jump to the outside branches, she banged her shins. And she had a little chip in her pediocarpus, which is basically her shin bone. And it's the sort of thing, if you've ever walked into a coffee table,
Is it okay if I just stand still?
Not disabling, but it hurts like crazy. And it did for her as well. But fortunately, minor injury. We have the capability to diagnose it with digital radiography, figured out what it was, gave her a little cage rest, and she was back to her charming self in no time at all. Ready to go, Brandon? Ready to go. All right, folks. What you've been here to see, return of the rock stars to the wild. Cameras up. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's not yet. That's the next. Big bird.
Be able to track some of these birds' movement through Wildlife Center of Virginia. We'll get the information that we'll be publishing, Jeff?
It'll be part of ongoing research with bald eagles in the coastal plain.
Great.
Schedule pretty much. And you just said we're kind of stretched it out a bit, so we've got no serious rush right now.
Okay.
Trying to meet the news.
Oh, having this new. Good thing we didn't start at 11. I said we shouldn't start till 11.
That's the one I did with the Norfolk one.
We used to miss that in the coastal plain, and mosquitoes were so bad in Maryland that I'd smoke a cigar while I was getting birds out in that. They would just tear your face up. Guess I could have won. And then feeling sick from smoking.
I thought that might have been you that came up by me.
Okay, Steve, if I can, when you're ready to go. I bet you know who Joe Flanagan is. I do. You can go basically stand by him. You'll be ready to do the media walk and be ready to go. Assuming that she cooperates. Different from the 25th.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take the hood off now and go for your walk. She is biting. So you may want to move this hand just up around the neck just to make sure she doesn't go back and nip you. When she sees you, you're fair game. That's it? Yep. Oh yeah, she's really not just going to reposition the wings here for a second just to make sure you're okay. Yep. Okay, off you go.
We're good?
Off you go.
This bird doesn't have a bad side, except for the side that's trying to bite me. I don't know if I have a good side. That's the difference.
Thank you guys. We're up here right now at Berkeley Plantation. Stephen Living holding the next eaglet. This is the female from Norfolk Botanical Garden. We are 3 for 3. The 3 eaglets that we've already released were absolutely gorgeous. Stephen Living making his way out to do the big release, and Ed Clark with the Wildlife Center of Virginia. Ed, 3 for 3 so far. It's been a great morning up here.
Oh, Joe, it's been a wonderful celebration of eagles, of the success of legislation like the Endangered Species Act, and particularly the partnerships that exist between places like the Norfolk Botanical Garden, the Wildlife Center of Virginia, and our state agency, the Department of Game and Inland Fisheries, of course, Center for Conservation Biology, very important players in this as well.
And I hope our viewers can appreciate all the people that have turned out here at Berkeley Plantation. Brian Bellamy panning around, letting our viewers at home see. We have 900 people, I think, maybe 1,000 that have come here to Berkeley Plantation. What about the viewers that haven't had the education you've been briefing everybody here today? How safe is this eaglet as she departs?
Well, actually, our crowd today is closer to 1,500.
Whoa!
And they come from 24 states and 4 provinces of Canada. They come here for this release. These 3 birds, of course, are the rock stars from the Norfolk Botanical Garden. They are the birds that were hatched on the webcam and hosted by WVEC, by the way, and we appreciate all of the support we've gotten. People from around the world have come to love these animals, and now, 3 months to the day after we got them, after their mother was tragically killed, they are going to be going back to the wild. The one that Steve Living is about to release here is the bird who has been known as NX. And people say, are you going to give her a name? Well, NX has worked so far, and it's going to work just fine right now.
All right, Ed, you have the honors, and let's see.
All right, Steve, are you ready to go?
We are.
All right. On the count of 3, the second of the rock stars is ready to go back to the wild. 1, 2, 3.
And there she goes.
And there she goes. Oh, a low buzz of the crowd. Through a cluster in the trees, and away she goes.
That was about the lowest of the ones we've seen.
That was the lowest so far.
All right, folks, we've taken up a lot of our time here on 13 News. Ed, thank you so much. Stephen, thank you. We'll have more on all this on 13 News tonight at 5 and 6. You'll want to stay tuned. This is a great event up here.
The little male.
Yeah.
Here, got feet.
Right in front of Bella. It's right there. It's got it. We can do it.
Well, he can wait. We're going to wait a second.
You can wait if you want to do just video only, a narration by LaSalle. If you can hold 2 minutes, we'll show this one. All right? He's hanging. He's hanging. This is the last one of the day, and it's the 3rd one from the garden.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, what we're going to do with this bird,
And this is the male, I believe.
this is
This is the male.
NV. Now, the way I've always been able to remember which one was the male, and I've learned that it's okay to be weird around NV. The thing that we are seeing today is a family celebrating our kids going off and getting a job. NV, I don't know why NV, but the V stands for Valentino. Now, don't start calling me that, because I think it's a hokey name, but I've always been able to, I know somebody's curious, hey Valentino, and we think I always love that name. But the little male was the one early on that fell out of bed in the middle of the night. And about 50 of you people called our emergency veterinary. Dr. Miranda was on duty that night, and the phone started into meltdown. People saying, something has happened to NV. Has the bear eaten him?
30 seconds, man.
Has he disappeared? What has happened to NV? Well, he fell out of bed, and that does not constitute medical emergency. but indeed he was the first to leave the nest, even if he didn't mean to. Those of you who watched the cam got to know very, very well.
Fix our camera.
They got to know very, very well that when these birds decide to go, shall we say, they back up to the nest.
Let him go.
And they go over the edge. But this time,
Here we go.
Envy is going to go home. And home is where it's all about. Last of the rock stars, returns to the wild.
Turn to the wild.
In 3,
Here we go.
2,
1.
1.
There we go.
All right.
Into the river.
Go on, boy. Go on, boy. That's cool.
He says, this ain't any better for the camera.
They raised the roof.